guys, this room, like, I love that it's like, I'm faced this way, you guys have to like turn your heads this way. It takes a lot of work. It's taking a lot of work over there, sorry guys. Guys, so happy to be here. Hawaii's phenomenal. It's really cool. And the people are amazing, you guys are amazing. I'm just filled with love. So, that's it.
How did you become Lucio?
Okay, that's the meat of it, right, guys? Like, the meat, that coconut meat. I have yet to have coconut.
A single coconut?
Somebody bring me a coconut. So, how did Lucio happen for me? So, I've been an actor for many years. I started in the 7th grade and would do it every year. I would take acting classes every year. My teachers were like, hey kid, you're pretty good. You should do it next year. And I was like, okay. So I did that all throughout high school. I took it in college, did a lot of weird plays. And then I moved to LA. I'm gonna jump ahead here to get to Lucio. But I just was doing a lot of film and television acting for many years. And I really never thought my voice was like anything to be like, oh, you got a great voice for voiceover or anything like that. I always thought it was like that promo-y stuff, which I cannot do. And so I got a manager that was like, hey, there's a voiceover agent we want to set you up with. And I was like, I don't care, whatever. I want television parts. And they're like, no, we're just going to set you up with them. I'm like, okay, cool. I have a meeting with them. They bring me on out of the charity of their heart, I guess, because I didn't know how hard it was to get a voiceover agent at the time. I was just like, yeah, sure, cool. All right, and in the end, they would send me to auditions, and I wouldn't book any of them. And I was like, what is going on here?
Were you sad?
That I didn't book?
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Yeah, of course I was like, why doesn't anybody love me? Oh, you guys.
Does anybody love him?
That's so sweet. Can we close that door?
They wouldn't let me close it.
Why can't you close the door?
I don't know, they said they wanted, can you close it? You drink, or can you leave it like half open?
Crack it.
Do a crack.
Crack the door. There's just people walking by like. I'm just like, anyway, so yeah, I was super sad, but it made me think it was a little bit of a different like vibe and beast. And I was still not like really taking it too seriously, I think. For a while, I was really focused on camera. But then came a time when, the story goes even deeper, guys. It's gonna be, Lucio's down here, we'll get there, we're about right here. So a friend of mine when I got to LA, does anybody know Troy Baker? I knew Troy when he was doing weird Christian movies in Texas. We were doing it together. And he moved out to LA, and when I moved out to LA, I called Troy, and I was like, hey Troy, like give me some LA advice. And he was like, get into voiceover. And I was like, give me some other advice. How do I get in film and television? He's like, no man, you don't understand. You gotta get in, man. It's crazy. It's what's paying my bills. So I was like, okay, whatever. Didn't take his advice. Was doing my own thing for many years. And then a friend of mine was playing The Last of Us in his room. I came in one day. I was like, oh, who gives this? He was like, oh, check it out. I sat there for 3 days, like on the edge of his bed, being like, go that way, go that way. And it was just like such an intense experience. But the whole time I was like, that voice is so good. And then after the game, I was like, whose voice was that? And it was Troy Baker, right? And then I looked at Troy Baker, and I was like, wow, video games. And voiceover was this whole thing I never even conceived of, right? And so at that point, I was like, maybe I should take it seriously. And at that point, it just got me thinking. I was like, oh, I've been thinking so traditionally about acting, and just kind of stuck still in 1993 of like being on a series or whatever, and things are changing. Like social media, everything. And that just kind of was like, oh, okay. And I remember I concentrated more on voiceover and being a little bit more in tune with what I was doing and focusing more on what I was sounding like, finding my own sound and what that was like and what was the most natural and sincere, creating those types of characters for myself. Because sometimes, a lot of times people create mimicry, you know, like they can do voices of other characters that they like. But I think what you get hired as is when you find your essence as an actor, right? And people hear that and they connect to it. So that's what I started doing, was like, what is my sound? What does that sound like? Well, you would play with it. And I remember I was on a series, got canceled. I was sad.
Sad again.
I was sad again. And then I was like, man, this is tough. And I remember being like, you know what? I'm just gonna chill and I'm gonna do the best work I can. And I remember I started getting a lot of voiceover auditions for like video games, things like that. And I was like, all right, let me do this the best I can. And then, we're about right here, guys. Right here. Right here. Excuse me. Right here. And I got a voiceover audition it was called Prometheus. And it had a picture of a little Latino boy with a skateboard and a hat. He looked about like 17. And it said he was like a kind of the big brother, supportive type that's cool, that people want to be like, fun and friendly. And then it had like 5 lines that you had to say. And I was like, I'm cool, I'm fun, I'm friendly. And I remember the person next to me, I showed him the sides, and they're like, that's you. And I was like, I'll go in and do me. And then the next day I went in, recorded it, and I left. A few months later, I get an email from my agent that says, the people from Overwatch really loved your audition. And I was like, I didn't audition for that. It was under a code name, guys. What? And at that point, I remember being like, Overwatch. No. And then I go tell my roommate, I'm like, hey man, I got this new part in this video game called Overwatch. And he goes, Overwatch? I'm like, yeah man, what's good? He's like, Blizzard's Overwatch? And I was like, okay, this is crazy, this is big. And over time, like, after that, I went in, I recorded Lucio with Andrea. Andrea, she's phenomenal. Like, everybody at Blizzard, they're geniuses. And I remember just doing the lines and being like, my thing with Lucio was to be as supportive and loving and fun and breaking people of like their negativity. Like, that's something I, as a human being, just kind of do naturally. Like, if somebody's like, I can't do that. I'm like, you're crazy, you can. You're just looking at all the wrong things. So that to me was Lucio's essence, and how can I bring that in the voiceover and what I was doing? Can you feel it? And I remember they told me that they looked like everywhere for Lucio. They looked at people who had Brazilian accents. They looked at all these different types of people for Lucio. I didn't do anything like that. I actually didn't say anything like that on the sheet. But I remember them saying, like, they looked everywhere and then they chose my essence, because my essence was what they were looking for Lucio. And going back to my first audition, they gave me like, I don't know, 200 lines, and then I have to say them 3 times, and if you don't get into that 3 times, it can go from 3 to 40. You gotta get it. But lucky enough, I got it. And just the whole process was so fun and amazing, and they showed me a picture of what Lucio looked like afterwards. I had no clue. And he was a Brazilian DJ in roller skates that was like wall riding, and I was like, what, that's me? But then, just being like, well, is anybody gonna believe that that's me? That was just, as an actor, you're just like, was that good? I don't know. Was that, and Andrea's really great about just like, being like, that was great, that was good, we love it, do it again. So they're really wonderful out there. And then at that point, after like we had recorded, the game was out, I was hearing people like the game, and then I would be out with friends, and a friend would like introduce me to one of their friends and be like, oh hey, this is Johnny. Oh, by the way, he's Lucio from Overwatch. And they would be like, and I was like, what's happening?
My favorite was I was once walking with Johnny and we were passing this parking lot and there was a car and there were two guys and one was, his head was out of the window, he's throwing up. And his friend is like patting him on the back like it's gonna be okay. And then he looks up and he goes, Lucia!
It was time to heal up for him. Yeah, so then it just kind of started to make me look at like, wow, this is a phenomenon. People are really relating to this game. They're finding such love and depth from this game, and it started to like really happen frequently. And I was like, what is going on? Like, what is happening? And then I remember going to the Blizzard campus with all the other voiceover actors, and I was like, I'm gonna bother everybody and make a video.
Have you seen the videos?
Thank you guys. And I had no idea, but I was like, just bugging everybody, and they were all, like all the voiceover cast was so just amazingly nice and supportive and funny and have like the deepest and sincerest hearts. It's crazy. And so I made the video. I remember being like, oh, this will be fun for the fans. And then I literally had like 500 followers on Twitter, guys. And I sent out that video the next day. I had like 20,000 followers. I was like, what is happening? What is going on? And now I'm here with you guys and like being able to like be here to see you and you guys see me, and I appreciate you guys so deeply as an actor for many years. To be a part of something that means something positive to someone is just like a dream for someone, and you guys are helping me realize a dream I never would imagine existed, and so thank you.
Yeah, before we get into Q&A, also, you make a bunch of your own videos. Like, has anyone seen his videos on like social media?
I saw it.
Yeah, on his Instagram or Twitter?
I saw it on Instagram.
I saw it on Instagram. Yeah, you've been making your own stuff for a while. You're like you're a creative type.
Yeah, for many years, like, as the movement, like I always say, you're trying to become an actor, go make your own stuff, do a bunch of stuff, and it's not going to be good. And then at some point, it might hit with somebody, and then you'll find your stride, you'll find your voice. And I think for me, I would create a lot when I was younger, directed feature-length movies. I would make weird shorts back in the early days before even YouTube. I'm old, guys. I think there's something to say about creating, right? As human beings, it's something we all deep down inside want to be doing, is like creating and putting something out there that connects. And so yeah, right now I'm making the dumbest videos. Because that's just who I am, man. Like, I'm having fun, and allowing myself to be fully myself gives the freedom for somebody else to do the same thing. So yeah.
But I also think it's interesting because you had made so many videos before that, Blizzard, the video Blizzard with all those other Overwatch VAs.
Right.
And it's just like, that's the one. Like, you were prepared.
Right.
You made so much before that.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's always about timing and like being a veil to what is happening, and acting and this whole thing is always about being prepared for the opportunity when it presents itself, and also being open and aware that it's happening at that moment, and accepting it and jumping on it. And so I was there and I was like, I'm gonna go bother Matt Mercer. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. What about some Q&A? Is this on? I hope so. Yes. Oh, thank you. Is there a way to move that more centrally?
I think it's got a whole bunch of stuff under it, and it's taped to the floor. Or somebody can hold the mic. Ooh.
Thank you, Kate. Round of applause for Kate. If you want to ask a question, please line up now. Now is the time. And I just want to request, actual questions. If you want like a photo, or can you please say hi to my brother? Come to the signings. We'll be doing a signing later today and tomorrow as well. And now's the time for
questions.
We've been dying to ask. And if you can also just introduce yourself and say your name before you ask the question.
Can we make the line a request to go that way and around the wall? I think everybody over here, their necks turned 45 degree angle. There you go. Yeah, there we go.
I'm thinking of it.
While this is happening, I'll take recommendations for places for me to eat.
I told you, the signature.
The where?
We're gonna have steak tonight.
Ooh. Yeah, I definitely want something major. What would that be?
You guys
Rainbow's Drive-In.
What was that? I want to know the story behind why not?
Don't send him to wine night tonight. Here's someone saying. Johnny, I will give you food suggestions.
Okay, alright, fine. Go to why not?
No.
Why not? What is it?
We'll talk about it later.
No, dude.
We'll talk about it later.
No.
We'll talk about it. Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. So we have our first guest.
Yeah.
So, hi, my name is Brandon Lau, and
What up, Brandon?
this is my first time asking participating in a Q&A.
What's up? Thanks a lot. When I was younger, I was so shy, I would have never stood there asking a question. And then look at me now, what happened? Talking. Okay.
Well, the question I have is, what is your opinion on pineapple on pizza?
All right, so this is gonna go very philosophically, right? We gotta go deep here. I believe, me personally, anybody who has a personal preference can have that personal preference,
I
right?
respect
So vanilla and chocolate, right? To say you love vanilla but you hate people who eat chocolate, or like you demonize chocolate, you say, ew, that's gross, how could you do that? I think the greatest thing you could do is be like, oh, cool, you like that, but still just talk about vanilla and how much you love vanilla. You don't have to demonize chocolate. I love chocolate. And I would say, here it is. I remember I had my roommate order a pizza, and the pizza got to my house, and I was expecting pepperoni, and that's it. I opened it up, it had pineapples, pepperoni, onions, and like arugula salad on top of the pizza. And I was like, Charlie, okay, what is this? Like, you don't ever do anything right. I'm gonna eat it anyway. I ate the pizza, and it is my favorite pizza to date. I eat it multiple times a month. So that's what I'm saying. To each their own, man. I actually love it. So there it is. That long diatribe for that.
It sounds like you didn't ask that a lot. You had a story prepared for that.
I've got probably a story for anything you ask me.
Hi, I'd like to thank you so much for how you...
Wait, what's your name?
My name's Ed.
Ed, what's up?
I wanted to thank you for how you portray Lucio, because I'm half Brazilian, and it's amazing because I identify so much with him. A lot of times his positivity is like
that's the kind of Brazilian person I wish I could be.
Right.
And I actually just have a growly bear syndrome. I'm very off-putting. But the question. Oh, go ahead.
It's not a wish. It's a choice, right? Like I could also, which I have been in the past, very growly man syndrome. Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Well, it's what you're focusing on, right? And I think positivity comes from a place of optimism versus negativity in what you're seeing in the future, right? So my thing is every day is like, how can I at the beginning of my day start being with those feelings of growly man syndrome and allowing myself to silence the mind because it's all based on fear of the future or things that I can't control, and slowly let them go and be present with what I am in the moment, the people I'm around, and that growling man syndrome dissolves. But it's a choice every day to be with it. That's all I'm going to say for that, but go ahead.
Okay. My question is
All right, dude. Whatever, man. That's my growling man.
do you think that there's more to Lucio than what's been told?
I mean, there is so much more to Lucio that I am so curious about. And what I love about Blizzard is their ability to create lore and create mystery and create want, right? Oh man, there's just so much I want to know. I know, like, what happened? You know, like, what's going on, Blizzard? Tell me. They don't tell me nothing because I've got a big mouth. So I'm just like, I love how this just kind of came about with the lore that they're slowly creating, and it's like they're also taking from the fans a little bit. You know what I mean? It's this co-creation of this game world. So I would love to know so much more about Lucio. Because right now he's got such depth that I want to know where it comes from and what happened, you know?
I agree. Last thing is I have a challenge for you. From now on, whenever you need to escape an awkward situation, to do Lucio's speed boost line.
Hello, Johnny.
What's up, man? What's your name?
Trent.
Trent, what up?
Before I ask my question, can you yell, Chihu? Yeah. Yell, Chihu.
I just got info on what it was.
Okay, my question is. Okay, I'm nervous. Okay. So what's going on with you and Diva?
Well, I personally am a human being, and Diva is a character inside a game. So, nothing. Well, I mean, that's also. Here's the thing, man. I am all for everybody giving love, man. So, whatever Blizzard wants to do, I'm for it. Okay. But me personally, I think it's such a cute little thing.
So you've already gotten stumped.
I mean, if you watch multiple like videos of me, it's me going like,
I was just talking about the Chihu type thing. You didn't even know The Rock said it.
guys, I didn't.
Hi, my name's Caitlin.
What's up, dude?
I was just wondering how you got wrangled into going into OMG, it's Firefox's bathtub for the interview. I talked to my friends in the tub.
It didn't take much. No, she's super funny. I met her through like the comedy scene in LA. Some of that live like Geek and Sundry stuff. And she actually did a Geek and Sundry with Darren DePaul. and she was playing Lucio. Darren calls me out of nowhere, and he's like, "Hey, I got OMG's Firefox here. Yeah, to talk to you. She's playing Lucio and needs some support on the phone." And so I gave her support on a live stream from the phone. Like, you gotta believe! You know? I didn't know what was happening. I was like, well, okay. And after that, we became friends, and then she's just so funny and super nice. And then she was like, "You want to get in my bathtub and be weird?" And I was like, "Absolutely." Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Hi.
Hi, my name is Sarah. It's not really a question, but I actually wanted to give you something that I drew last night.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
Guys, I have to say she's really talented.
Okay, so let me show everybody what it is. Oh my God. So it's Lucio, and really well done. Incredible work. And then she's pulling from an Instagram video that I did where I'm going, This is boring! And it says I'm boring. So I love this so much. I love this so much. Yeah, thank you. So many hugs and love. Yeah. I love it. Hi.
My name's Annika.
Annika, what's up?
Alright, so I got a few things to say. First of all, thank you. I saw a post on your Instagram a while back, someone made a meme out of it. When Ariso was released, you posted a picture of you with like a giant knife, and you're like, "I dare you guys to stop shipping me with Efi," or something like that.
I didn't do that.
You didn't do that? Okay, it was a picture of you with a giant knife, and it was like, "People stop shipping me with Efi."
Wait a minute. I'm sure out there is a picture of me with a knife. I'm sure, probably. But I did not do that. So some clever person did it. But yeah, you'll have to tweet that at me or something. That's hilarious. I gotta see, what is this picture of me with a knife? Look at that! Oh wait, maybe it's from...
It looked like you were in a thrift shop with like a giant, like, steak knife almost.
Was it Photoshop? Cause that...
I don't know.
Well, there was one video I did years ago where I'm eating Pop-Tarts with a knife. So they could have pulled it from there. Yeah.
It's like Hunter Careful or something. I gave you a card earlier, and the card on the front of it, there's a picture of Prince Levine as a frog. And then there's a picture of you, and I said, "I see no difference." I just wanted to clear that up, because I didn't draw him well at all. It just looks like a random frog with eyebrows.
It was cute.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Pablo. And
What's up?
My question for you is, if you could voice any other Overwatch character, who would it be?
So I've said this many times at a con, but I love the silky, smooth voice of Matthew Mercer. That cowboy. Thank you. What's up?
My name is Caleb, and my question for you is, who is your favorite female Overwatch character?
Hey guys, chill. It's Diva.
What's up, Johnny? My name is Blaze.
What's up, Blaze?
So I've done some like theater stuff for fun, so acting, whatever, like for fun over the years. But I wanted to ask you, like, whether it's for voice acting or for your video creation or direction or whatever. I know they're very different types of work. The type of techniques you have to use, and both are very different. But what's your like creative process for coming up with your inspiration for character voices or for like video ideas? How do you? What's your?
Well, so there are two different things I think for creating voices and things like that. I think basically last night I was in the shower. Yeah.
I heard this.
And I was basically in the shower being like, you're just literally doing that to find your voice. And the biggest thing also is perspective from the character, right? Like, what is this character's perspective? Because that adds so much, like, is he mad at the world and is like some weird, I don't know, clown that just wants to be a clown and nobody will let him be a clown. Like, these are things like, and what does that sound like? So for me, it's like you'll get a picture and a description of a character when it comes in. So I'll look at the picture and I'll be like, well, what does that sound like in my brain? What does that character look like? And then I'll just kind of like find it through like, and like you're just playing with your voice until you find it.
Right.
For video creation, it's a little bit different because I really take from like life, and I do a lot of ridiculous comedy with my friends. And so This Is Boring came from me fucking around with my friend, and I was like, this is boring, And then I kept doing that, and then like it always comes in like I'll have a nice reversal in comedy. It's like when you flip it on its head. And you make the audience think you're going to do something, but you do something else.
Right.
And it's come from a lot of improv over the years. I've done so much improv comedy out in LA. It really teaches you so much about yourself that you can make mistakes, and the mistakes are usually where the fun is, right? Because if you're up on stage doing perfect like scene work, that's so boring. People love to watch the mistake, and then you use the mistake as the joke or the payoff. So I'll be hanging out with Igor, he might say something funny, and then I say something funny, and I'm like, let's just shoot that. And then just do it as quickly as possible. So
All right, okay.
just make it, and don't judge it so much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
For sure, man.
You're getting another present.
Huh?
You're getting another
Give me things! What's your name?
My name is Ashley.
Ashley! She brought me a tiny box of Lucy. Oh. Yeah, oh really? It's so good. Well, I wonder what it is. What do you think is in here, guys? Oh, it's apples.
loot box.
Well, yeah, just repackage it and resell it. Easy. And then a cute little oh my gosh. It's just so cute. Look at it. Can anybody see that? It's just so cute. I like how his little soul patch is on the side of his face and then his mouth is over here. It's so cute. His mouth didn't even move. His mouth just moved. So cute. I love it. Thank you. Thank you.
Also, I have a question.
Yeah.
If Lucio was actually in a fighting game, how do you think he would play?
Okay, so if he was in a fighting game, how do you think he would be? So he reminds me so much of Eddie Gordo. He would be doing capoeira and on rollerblades. That's it. Eddie Gordo.
Hi, I'm Kao.
Hi.
My question is, who do you think is the best blooper out of Lucio, Sombra, and Farah?
Okay. Chill out. All right. I give credit where credit is due. Okay? Carolina or Sombra is the original blooper.
Yes!
But Lucio does it best.
Hi, Johnny. My name's Miley.
What's up, buddy?
What's up? Alright, so my question is, you've been going to a few cons for a while now. What is your weird experience with fans?
Well, here's the thing. I think I'm the weird experience for fans. You know what? I think this is a wonderful, interesting community, and I think I approach everybody when they come up with absolute just presence and love, because I think it's so important to be there with my family. Without all you guys, I wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? Like, your appreciation is like building mountains and helping me in my life that I've never even fathomed. So everyone I'm super appreciative of. But there's this one time, this one guy made me some cookies. And I was just like, I'm not eating those cookies. That's it. Oh, yeah, you know what? We also, here's another one. But I don't think it's as weird as more as freaking amazing. I was in Dubai, and I met a fan that was like, come to my house, we will feed you. And I was like, awesome, sounds great. I don't know, sure. Well, he came as a recommendation from another friend. Yeah, we go to his house, which is a palace. And we're like, what is your house, dude? He's like, yes. And he's like, would you like to drive the Ferrari? And I was like, yeah. We go inside his house, and it's like this beautiful thing you just see in like movies. I'm like, what? You guys play Overwatch? So we walk in, and it's like, it was literally 10 guys in like these big chairs in a room, and they're all just sitting there wearing like mustaches, yeah, and they're the traditional garb, and there's food everywhere, and the servants are coming out serving. I'm like, what the is happening? I thought we were gonna go to like Outback Steakhouse. And they were just like the fandom here is like just incredible, and the appreciation that I feel from fans is like I would have in my life. How did I get there? Like, what is happening? So that was like super weird, but also super amazing.
Hi. Sorry, just went up 10-minute warning.
Already?
Okay, that's all.
My name is Chris, and if there were to be a change to Lucio's playstyle, would you rather it be a permanent speed boost and the speed is faster, or a permanent heal boost and the heals are quicker?
Well, I think people need more healing. Always more healing. Because you can still die when you're being speed boosted. Right?
Fast.
I mean, I love going fast, but I also love being alive. What's up, my man?
Thanks, Malcolm. Hey, so as a Reinhardt main, I love the interactions that you guys do. And my favorite one is when you say, Reinhardt, we need to find you some new tunes.
Yeah, that's good.
What's wrong with the class? So, my question is, who's your favorite character to interact with?
I actually I can't even say this. No, I can say a piece of it. Gaku sent me a screenshot of an interaction between me and Genji that I died laughing. So you're just gonna have to wait. That one is my favorite of all time. Yeah, but also I thought it was the cutest thing. I was watching a video where Anna boosted Lucio, and he's like, Lucio! And he's like flying off. That was the cutest goddamn thing I've ever seen. Anyway. Yeah, it's definitely, if it makes it, hopefully it does, it's me and Genji's new one. That's what it is. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
My name is Augustine.
What happened to the other side of your mustache?
They're blue.
They're kind of like half, you're like, yeah, you're half Mario, half Wario.
With all the character interactions and maps and events coming out, how often do you have to go back to record voice lines?
I would say about every 3 months. I'm going in next week for something, so yeah. I don't know what it is. Yeah. I'm gonna work, baby. What's your name?
Sean.
What's up, Sean?
Not much. I just wanted to say thanks for coming, and it's real great.
Happy to be here.
Just wanted to ask. First time.
What's up?
It's the first time I've actually been starstruck here. I don't know.
You know, this is a regular dude. You know.
How did you? What do you think the fastest way to become a voice actor is? Like the best way?
Okay, so I think it's with anything is like, you have to be constantly in the doing, right? And you have to also let people know that you're doing, right? But me, I think I took a lot of acting classes early on to like really find just what it is to actually perform and be sincere and give a part of you as vulnerably as possible. And I'll tell you this, in front of a mirror, I'm the greatest actor you will ever see. You put me in a room of 10 executives for the next Marvel movie, and I'm like, So you have to get to the point where you can translate that piece of you that is that performer, that vulnerability, into a room of people, and into a movie theater. So part of it is, how can you allow yourself to get to that point? And for me, it's been doing acting classes, it's been doing improv, and then through that, you meet people who give you pieces of information, like, oh, you should meet my agent. Oh, that was funny. Oh, hey, I'm doing this project. You want to be in it? You know what I mean? You make these connections, but if you're not willing to take the step out to become or show yourself or be vulnerable, it's going to take a long time. You know, so like, get as vulnerable in front of people as quickly as possible and ask for help.
Also, Jonny has a superpower, this is a real thing, which whenever you see that you, like if you feel like you don't deserve something, or if you're not good enough, most people I've seen, they just go, okay, I guess, but then Jonny goes, but why? And then he looks at it, and then you remove it.
Well, we all have limiting beliefs about our lives, right? Given to us by our families or friends. One person might have said, "Ew, your voice sounds dumb." You know what I mean? And then you take that with your life, into your life, and you're just like, oh, I have a dumb voice. And you don't really think about the possibilities, but you look at somebody else and you're like, oh, that would be so cool to do, right? But because you don't think your belief keeps you from being able to like even accept the fact that that is a possibility, like you're just blinded. So you'll never allow it to go, maybe I can, right? And so for me in my life, as I got older, to say, whenever I have this belief about myself, or like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not this, or I'm not that, I say, is that true, right? And usually it's coming from this belief that I have that I need to be with. And to say, no, that's not true, and I'm going to move forward and towards it anyway. And then through moving towards it, you find that that belief was this old thing that you just kept you from doing the things you actually really wanted you to do. And so this is a process for me that I work with, is like working with, what do I believe about myself? Am I talented? Am I funny? Am I worthy of a major film, right? Like, what are these beliefs that I'm not allowing myself to have? And then I sit with it, I meditate on it, and I allow myself to release them. And it's been a long time to even be in a room like this. It's crazy. Years ago, when I was very shy, I wouldn't ask people for the time. Or I wouldn't ask people like for directions, because I was so, like, they're going to think I'm stupid. But now, I just show everybody I'm stupid. Hey! And it feels great! You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. And so, these are just the pieces of like, a constant inner reflection of like, what I'm allowing myself to do and have, and it's usually, I'm making it up. And we're all making it up. And so let's make up better stories for our lives. Woo!
Sorry, we only have time for one more question.
Whatever, man.
So it has to be really, really good.
Oh, no, you can't do that. Let's just give it to him. We'll do like quick.
We can do it. Speed round?
Yeah, like quick.
How would you react if Lucio was nerfed?
I have a question. So you know how Lucio always skates around on the walls?
Yeah.
If he ever had that skates, would you ever go on the walls like that?
If I could do it?
Yeah.
Absolutely! I'm terrified to even try, but that sounds amazing.
I feel like this is going to be a challenge.
I'm gonna fail. I gotta believe in myself! That's what I'm talking about!
What's your favorite Lucio skit, and how's Papa Jeff doing?
0 minutes left. Papa Jeff is an incredible genius, and my favorite skin just kind of goes on vibe. It was Ribbit. I really love that. Just all white. And then Cabaretta's freaking cool, but sometimes I feel jazzy.
Because this is the best thing. This is the best thing ever. We have 5 minutes to go the whole
Hi, this is Josh. This is a tricky question. We all know that you make some crazy videos, especially I think you found it on YouTube. It's called Every Young Kid's Dream Set to Dubstep. What inspired you to make that video?
So that
Fun
was...
video anyway. Funny video.
Thank you. That's an old video that you can find on YouTube somewhere. I might release it on my channel again. But it's me also, once again, eating food, okay? I love food. I love eating garbage. But that particular video, I just remember being like, if I was a kid and my parents weren't home, what would I do? I would eat all the snacks possible. All the cereal, all the things. So that's it. It's simple. Yeah, thank you so much.
Can you tell us an awkward moment you had with the voice actor of Overwatch?
Let's see. Awkward moment. Man, I mean, they're all wonderfully awkward in different ways. What would I say? Let's see. This is a good question. This one's. Because I think it's always been so wonderfully positive. I had one. Let me think on that one. Because I think there's something good here. It's probably, oh, okay, here's one. Got it. Charlotte Chung. Wait. So after a con, Charlotte texted me and Igor like, hey, come by, we'll have some food. And then she said something like, but I really love, and she said like an emoji of like,
Yeah, it was like 3 cheese emojis.
3 cheese emojis. And me and Igor were like, she wants us to bring cheese? So me and Igor go to Whole Foods and buy this spread of cheese.
$70 of cheese.
$70 of cheese. We were late, she's like, where are you guys at? We're like, we're close by. We get up there, we're like, we brought the cheese, and she's like, what? Why? It's like, you were saying like you hinted you wanted cheese.
3 cheese emojis.
Yeah, and then she gave some weird thing of why she said it, and we're like, we're confused.
You know, this is what she said. She said, she goes, you guys are so dumb. She goes, when I send the cheese emoji, it's me saying, I'm a mouse, so come on. I think said we had a lot of cheeses.
Yeah, I love it. She's so fun. I love her. Yeah, there you go. Found it.
Alright, what's up, Jonny Cruz? My name is Roland. So I don't really have much of a question, but I have a little personal thing to ask of you. So I'm basically a manager for a team that wants to go very far to probably make it to Overwatch contenders. And there's this off-support main goes by the Battletech Akio. What would your voice line be to encourage this man to help him go far with this team?
What's his name?
He goes by the Battletech Hyo, H-Y-O.
Hyo?
Yeah.
H-Y-O.
What would you say to encourage him?
Simple like, Hyo. You gotta believe!
Hello, my name is Angela. I would suggest, I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to suggest the line when Nana boosts you and you say, hippity hoppity, this is a robbery. And then if you boot people off, you can say, hippity hoppity, get off my property.
I love it.
Well, that's it.
Call Jeff. His number is 876.
What's the next 4 numbers?
Last question. I love you guys. Sorry.
Hey Tommy, my name is Jacob. My question was, what was the hardest line for you to record for your Lucio voice acting?
It was actually Heroes of the Storm, because a lot of Lucio in Heroes of the Storm was a lot more, it wasn't as amped up or hyped, and it also had a lot of deep, rich character history that a lot of it, I didn't know, and a lot of names that were like, Lord so-and-so, and I was like, I don't know this guy! So that one was kind of difficult to really get Lucio's right on point. That makes any sense. What's happening?
We've got one more because it's a child.
Oh, okay, great. But they're all my children.
Reagan has a present for you.
Oh, come here, Reagan! Got this cute photo.
Is this a picture of you? Hope this made your heart smile. Come give me a hug. Come give me a hug.
Guys, thank you so much.
Really, honestly, love you guys so much. Thank you for being here and supporting Overwatch.
Super positive audience.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Come give me hugs.
We're signing at 5:30. Johnny will be signing. And tomorrow, the second and final panel at 12:30. So come and say hi.
I love you.